Hello, sweet parents. Welcome to the When Our Adult Children Walk Away podcast. My name is Dr. Janet Steinkamp, and during each episode of When Our Adult Children Walk Away, I will provide my professional and personal insights, information and opportunities for your self-reflection and growth, tips and tricks to make every day count, and encouragement to keep moving forward. I'm here to help you dig deep and get down to the root causes so that you can find your way out of the darkness to a positive and lasting relationship. Grab your notebook and a pen, settle into your favorite chair, and let's get to it. This episode is titled, Houston, We Have a Problem. Parents are scrubbing the launch. Remember that 2006 comedy Failure to Launch? I think it was starring Sarah Jessica Parker and Matthew McConaughey. Anyway, a number of us found a good chuckle or two in that movie. Pretty easy to identify with the parents at that time. Their son was not ready to leave. I think he was well beyond his 20s and really not wanting to leave the home. It was so comfortable. They took such good care of him. And the parents really had to work at getting their son to move out into the world, to be independent of them so they could have their own life. Well, the news is that really the tide has turned on us, and we, the parents, are beginning to scrub the launch. We are devastated that they are leaving. We are holding on when our adult children are asking us, when they need us to get out of their way and step back. Here are a few statistics to put this in perspective. Carl Pillemer tells us through his research that approximately 67 million people in the U.S. are estranged by at least one family member. His 2018 research study found that the fractured relationship bothered about 85% of the people experiencing estrangement. So that means our children miss us. Our children don't want to be estranged. They want us to be connected and need us to connect differently. About 57 million people, primarily estranged parents and adult children, want to be connected. They want to have a relationship with each other, and they want to connect in a healthy, mature relationship based on strong communication, mutual respect, and boundary-based agreements. So why don't we? Why are we struggling to reconnect? Well, here's some thoughts. First, let's acknowledge that some estrangements, about 25% of them, are necessary for safety and protection. These commonly involve substance use, physical or mental, sexual abuse, or significant mental illness. If that is the case in your relationship, please get in touch with licensed mental health providers. And if you are looking for a resource or you need to find someone without other people knowing, please jump over to the When Our Adult Children Walk Away website and look at the resource page. I have a number of resources there available to you and the contact information, and they are reliable and legitimate. So other than that 25% of the 67 million people, in the majority of the strained or estranged relationships, one or both people are not ready to reconnect. Often they have something either they're working on in their lives and they need space to deal with it, or they need the other person to do that. They need the other person to change some behaviors and accept them for who they are. So how do we do that? I find that most of the parents and adult children I talk with or listen to either don't understand what it is the other person's asking them to do, or they don't know how to do it. So the question we need to ask ourselves is, why are we failing to let go at launch time? How come we're holding on? They're flapping their wings with vigor. They want to leave, and it's not our intent to hold them back. We don't want to trip up the natural growth and development of our sons and daughters. And yet we're still holding on. We're insisting that they keep us by their side and that that's a better alternative to being independent. If we think back to when we were their same age or in that same stage of life, our families were much more naturally involved, generally speaking. Now, obviously, there are many exceptions to that. And our parents expected to be there. We were expected to use them for their counsel. They were our advisor, even into adulthood. It doesn't mean they told us what to do. It means that we asked for their opinion. We trusted and wanted their input. And then, in the healthiest of relationships, we went on with that information and made our own decisions and established our own lives. So how do we do that for our adult children? We are coming out of a generation of helicopter parents. What we know by experience is that if we don't let go, if we don't step back like we're being asked to do, they fly away in droves and they don't come back. There's no migration if we continue to use this analogy. They are not coming back easily, and they're not coming back until we figure out our role in their life as independent adults. There are lots of reasons parents are holding on. In many, many cases, we've built our lives around our children. And who are we without our children? We're afraid of the emptiness that they leave behind. That footprint is huge. The house doesn't feel the same. The grocery shopping isn't the same. Nothing's the same. We're afraid that we'll become irrelevant to them, that they won't need us anymore, that they won't come to us and share their lives with us. We have no purpose without being parents to them. We are their caregivers and their protectors. We have been their whole lives. Only now we need to let go and let them take care of themselves and strike out into the world on their own. And yes, that is one of the most difficult things I have ever done. In fact, there are plenty of times that I fall back into that helicopter mom, and we've had to work out ways for my adult children to say to me, back up, reset. And I have to listen, right? Not easy work. And so what is it that we need to do to let go? Let's start with what our adult children define as a successful parent launch. Here it is, folks. Our adult children want us to fill our lives with purpose, other than guiding and advising them. They want us to become active as a human being, independent of the role of parent. The work we're being asked to do by millions of our sons and daughters is to become whole and independent people without them at the center of our world. Our adult children are telling us that if parents don't do that, they feel like weight. They feel like they're being held back. They feel responsible for their parents' happiness, and they are shrugging that off. They're not accepting that anymore. They're moving on without us. We are challenged to move from parenting to being an adult partner parent with our adult child. I love that term, partner parent. I think it really sums up what we're being asked to do, and it's reassuring to know we do have a role. There's a new and different role. It's not what we're used to. It may not be what we want. Certainly isn't what we dreamed of and envisioned in our future, but there is a role, and we can take on that role and embrace it. So as our adult child begins to build an independent life and decide what they believe, what they value, they choose their life partners and their friends, and they become parents themselves. We, as a parent partner, are to become independent people. In many cases, we can avoid total estrangement if we can make this transition into this new role, this parent-partner role. Now, for many of us, this new concept and role comes as a big wake-up call. It is a shock. And maybe we should call this like the shock and awe stage of parenting. It comes right between young adulthood and adulthood. So we carefully nurtured and protected these people throughout their young lives. We are not prepared to let go, and yet it's time. The risk of not letting go is devastating. Do you remember that feeling when we first brought these babies into the world, that it's just so common? People say, where's the instruction manual? I don't know how to do this. I was not prepared. I am exhausted. And then we moved into young adulthood with them. They began to grow into a world where they were already starting to disconnect, already not needing us in the same ways. They were taking advice from their friends, from teachers, from faith-based leadership. They began really kind of stretching their wings even in their adolescence. The question is, did we continue to evolve in our parenting to match their need for independence? We figured it out in the beginning, all along the way, and we can do it again. We can and need to grow into being a parent partner. We need to learn how to let go of our place as the primary figure, the primary confidant, the primary advisor, and now we need to accept and even learn to appreciate our place as a support figure. We move to the back of the room, the back of the line, the back of the crowd. We become less of a priority. Estrangement for any reason is heartbreaking, confusing, alienating. To be rejected by our adult child is one of the most painful experiences. And yet, are we being rejected? Or are we being asked to evolve, to change? And if we can do that, we are in a very strong position to avoid estrangement. We are in a stronger position to stay connected differently. Estrangement can be a time to learn and grow and prepare. We can take that time to grow and change and really reflect on what went wrong. We can take that time when we're not at the front of the pack and have been put aside and explore the potential changes we want to make. What purpose do we want? How does it feel to be independent and not a parent? After 18 or 20 years, 25 years, how does that feel? For me, it felt horrible. I didn't get off the couch for 3 years. I was so depressed. And yet, I found my way back. It took estrangement. It took my adult daughter cutting me off. I needed that wake-up call to make that decision and make that change. If your adult child has cut off communication or your relationship is fracturing and you're ready to reflect and explore, maybe if you're still in contact with your adult child, we can find a way to ask for them to articulate where the problem lies for them. We can maximize your time apart, and we can prepare to repair. We can prepare for the opportunity to grow a healthy and different relationship that is satisfying to both you and your adult child. I'm so happy you made it to the end of this episode today. If you're feeling a bit more hopeful and like what you've heard here, please share this podcast with someone who you know is also struggling as a parent in their relationship with their adult child or other family member, and who could use some hope, help, and healing. If you have a second, I'd love it if you'd leave me a thumbs up, click on the word follow, and head on over to the When Our Adult Children Walk Away website. So until next time, my friends, be brave, be kind to yourselves, and stay hopeful.